Is the housing market going to crash? This has got to be the question of the year. Well, I can say with complete confidence that the housing market in the United States is not going to crash. Some people say this is a bold statement, but I don't feel that way at all. Really, I'm shocked by the high number of people saying that the housing market is going to crash. In today's video, I'm going in depth to help you understand why the housing market is not going to crash. It might not be what you want to hear, and you might disagree, but I assure you that I don't have a hidden agenda. I simply want to help you. I deeply study the real estate market, listening to the top housing and economic specialists, and I'm always looking at the latest data and housing numbers. If you're trying to decide if you should buy a home or not, this is one video you need to watch all the way through, especially if you disagree or think that I'm wrong. Hi, I'm Ty the Real Estate Guy, and if you'd like to stay up to date on the latest real estate tips and trends, subscribe to my channel below and ring that little bell. If you have questions or comments at any time during this video, please leave a message below. I'll do my best to respond to each one of you. If you're looking to buy, sell, or build a home in Utah, please feel free to call or text. I would love to talk with you. Also, if you watch to the end, I'll make some recommendations to guide you through the process of buying, selling, or building a home. If you saw my video, The Unbelievable Truth About the Housing Market Crash, some of this will be the same. But I have new information that solidifies the fact that the housing market is not going to crash. And in that video, I also didn't talk about inflation. So I'll be talking about that as well. Okay, so the newest data that I'm seeing talks about the demographics of home buyers. As people approach their late 20s and through their 30s, they decide to buy a house. About 2/3 of Americans do this. Recently, the US Census Bureau released some population statistics. Currently, millennials are coming of age and pouring into the housing market. As a matter of fact, there are now 4.5 million more people in their 30s than we had back in 2010. If you look at this chart, you'll see that the number of people in the prime home buying age group has skyrocketed over the last few years, and that this demographic is expected to grow for several more years. This will continue to push the housing market. In other words, if you're waiting for the housing market to crash, it's just not going to happen. According to the chart, homebuyers could be flooding the market for the rest of this decade. You also need to consider that the cost to build a house has skyrocketed. The National Association of Home Builders recently reported that the rising price of lumber has increased the cost to build a single-family home by $36,000. This means the price of lumber has increased by more than 300% since April of 2020. The cost of building materials has increased by more than 26% over the last year. The major factors contributing to this sharp increase in costs are, number one, the insane demand for housing; number two, tariffs; number three, the labor shortage as builders are forced to pay more to the trades to build their homes; number four, the underproduction of building materials due to COVID; and the fact that as a nation, we've been underproducing for over a decade. And number five, thanks again to Corona, a lot of people have decided not to sell their home. This is leaving us with an extreme shortage of available homes for sale, driving the prices of homes higher. But the one thing that no one is really talking about is remodels. A lot of these people are remodeling their homes, driving the cost of building materials even higher. Yes, the cost of construction will come back down, but it's likely that the cost to build a home will never again be as low as it was a few years ago. This is just one more thing that supports the higher pricing for homes today and into the future. Fortunately, the lower mortgage rates are keeping housing affordable, and the Fed just announced that they plan to keep rates low well into 2022. That means homes will continue to be affordable for a lot of Americans. Now, what about inflation? It's been said that home ownership is one of the best ways to hedge against inflation. So let's take a quick look into why. As most of you know, as inflation rises, the cost of everything increases, including homes. When you lock in a fixed mortgage rate, your payment will stay the same until your house is paid off, in which case you no longer have a payment except for some taxes. This is especially beneficial when you consider mortgage rates are currently in the 3% range, which is near all-time lows. Even though home prices have come up, these lower rates will make buying a house much more affordable. Rent, on the other hand, will continue to increase for the rest of your life until you're dead. So your home's value increases and you build equity, but your monthly payment will stay the same. If you're paying rent, your payment can increase year after year. For those of you that have cash, inflation will reduce its value. Real estate is a great place to invest that cash, especially when rates are low like we're seeing today. And this is why you're seeing hedge funds and private investors scooping up real estate. By the way, Lennar Homes is purchasing $4 billion. Yes, I said billion of single-family homes and townhomes with plans to rent them out. That's insane, especially when we're in a severe housing shortage. It seems like investors are always to blame for increasing home price, but it's hard to criticize someone who understands the benefit and profitability of owning real estate when you'd most likely do the same thing if you had the money to do so. Now, it's been said that the cure for high prices is high prices. But when it comes to homes, in today's crazy market, this will not lead to a collapse or a crash of the housing market. As home values increase, people will continue to purchase real estate, but prices in many areas will begin to plateau as we move towards the end of 2021. Now, for those of you who are looking to buy a home, you may want to watch my video, How to Win a Multiple Offer Situation. I'll put a link to that video below. Now, before I move on, I would love to hear your thoughts. Rather you think the housing market is going to crash, or if you're convinced it's going to keep on rolling, please comment below and tell me why. Also, will you please give this video a thumbs up? I would appreciate it more than you know, and that thumbs up will help others see that this video is helpful. Thanks. Now, I keep hearing that we're in a housing bubble because prices have come up so high. What goes up must come down, right? Wrong. Homes will continue to sell and prices will continue to increase for a lot of reasons. The number one reason the market will continue to run is because new buyers are flooding the market. A lot of states are seeing a huge migration from more expensive locations. This isn't just happening in Utah, it's happening all over the country. These people who are coming from these pricier areas can't believe how cheap our homes are. And in many locations, pricing is so low that they're buying two houses, one to live in and one as an investment property. Many of the buyers coming into the market have cash, and a lot of it. If you have any chance of getting a home, especially in the hotter locations, you need to be aggressive and make some concessions. The reason homes are selling way above list price is because in the eyes of these migrating buyers, the value of the home is higher than what it's listed for. And there's still a lot of these buyers in the market. To increase the longevity of this current trend, people aren't done moving from the more affluent regions. And there's just a lot of people still sitting on the sidelines. They're waiting, hopeful prices will come down or that something will happen that will give them a better buying opportunity. Unfortunately, anything that happens to remove buyers from the market will probably be worse for those waiting as well. For instance, higher mortgage rates. When the migration finally stops, and it's going to be a while, that's when things will finally start to slow down. Some of the larger cities like Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago will cool off way before places like Salt Lake, Phoenix, Austin, Tampa Bay, and etc. The Great Migration has undoubtedly changed the face of our nation, and it will continue to do so. The mass surge in home buyers is also due to the vast number of millennials and first-time home buyers pouring into the market, which is most likely due to the low mortgage interest rates. These near all-time low mortgage rates are another major reason why the housing market is booming. Just over a year ago, rates were sitting around 4.25%. Today, rates are sitting around 3%. These lower rates give buyers, you, $50,000 to $70,000 in additional buying power, depending on several factors. This has allowed a lot of people who previously couldn't qualify the ability to buy a home. And the lower rates have greatly encouraged investors to purchase another property or properties. Once again, flooding the market with more buyers. When you add this massive surge of home buyers to a housing market that's already suffering from a severe lack of inventory, you get what we're seeing today, which is a lot of cash buyers, multiple offer situations, homes selling way over asking price, huge earnest money deposits, sometimes non-refundable. Often, buyers are willing to remove the appraisal and home inspection contingencies. Buyers have offered to pay the seller's moving expenses, and I even heard that one buyer offered to name her firstborn after the seller. Anyway, if your market is anything like Utah, the available homes in your location might look something like this. On the Utah MLS, as of June 1st, 2021, there were just over 2,500 homes available for sale in Utah, the entire state. In Salt Lake County, there were only about 650 homes for sale, leaving only about 250 homes available in Salt Lake City. Here in Utah, we're in a severe housing shortage, over 50,000 units below what is needed. The current inventory barely scratches the surface, giving us less than a 1-month supply of available homes. It will most likely take years to fill this gap, especially when you consider that people are moving to Utah in record numbers, similar to many other areas of the country. I know that a lot of you are worried if housing is still a good investment because prices have gone up so high, but I assure you that it still is, and that home values will continue to soar. You have to understand that prices don't have to come back down, especially when we're talking about real estate. Just ask Californians. That being said, we're in a wild market, so you want to use some caution. If you pay $50,000 above asking price, removing the appraisal and home inspection contingencies, there's a good chance you overpay for the home, and without a home inspection, you could have tens of thousands of dollars in repairs once you move in. On an existing home, you should never remove the home inspection contingency. I've heard multiple stories of people paying $100,000 above asking price. Honestly, that's fine as long as you can make the payment, or if you're paying cash. But you should still know that it could take years for home values to catch up to what you paid. Okay, so the home ownership rate in the United States is approximately 67% as first-time home buyers continue to flood the market. In 2007, there were 3.7 million homes for sale. Today, there's only about 1 million homes for sale. That is a significant difference. Right now, at this exact moment in time, there's more demand than supply. This means home prices will continue to go up. It's simple economics, and it's true with anything. Take lumber, for example. Yes, home values are way up, but a lot of people can still afford the homes at this price and higher. In 2007, before the crash, homeowners had about 33% equity in their homes. And when the market crashed in 2007, home values fell by 33%. That means a lot of people lost all their equity, and many more were underwater. In other words, they owed more on their house than what it was worth. For all those people who fell behind on their payments, owed the banks all sorts of late fees and penalties, it was an easy decision to just walk away from their home. And the market crashed because we ended up with way too much supply and almost no demand. Today, the average homeowner has about 78% equity. That means a lot of people today have hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity in their homes. Homeowners who fall behind on their payment today will do everything they can to keep their home because they don't want to lose their precious equity. These people are not going to go into foreclosure because they have way too much equity. Instead of losing their house to the bank, they can just sell it and walk away with a lot of money. For this reason, an extremely small portion of our population will actually go into foreclosure. I should also mention that house payments are a lot smaller today thanks to lower mortgage rates. Millions upon millions of Americans have purchased a home or refinanced to a rate of 3% or lower. If you don't understand the power of mortgage rates, you should know that a rate of 3.5% is insanely low. Many believe that a rate this low is like borrowing money for free. Simply put, you will not see a wave of foreclosures because people are safe and happy in their current mortgages, unlike the recession. It's just not going to happen. Yes, there will be some foreclosures, but they will only help to alleviate our current circumstance. It will not be enough to do any serious damage or to bring the home prices down. Like I've been saying for months now, there's just too much demand and not enough supply. People aren't listing their homes for sale, and home builders can't build homes fast enough. Even if we hit a price ceiling, which I'm not expecting to happen anytime soon, homes will still continue to sell. And I'm not sure if I dare talk about Joe Biden's first-time homebuyer credit, because as nice as it sounds, and as much as I would love to do anything to help first-time homebuyers, I just don't think it's the right time or solution. We are already suffering from a severe housing shortage. This first-time homebuyer credit would suddenly bring millions of new buyers into the market, exacerbating our problem, and home prices would definitely bounce higher. I feel bad for first-time homebuyers today, especially those who could have purchased a home last year. The current situation is frustrating, and many of you have already been priced out of the market. But unfortunately, it's the wrong timing for Joe Biden's first-time homebuyer program. I've said this in other videos, but mortgage rates could be the only thing to slow down or derail this housing market. As rates start to increase over the coming months, with the rising home prices, more buyers will fall out of the market. Really, the homeowner landscape is changing. The day of people moving up to a bigger, better home every 3 to 5 years are probably over. Because people have locked in these crazy low mortgage interest rates, many below 3%, and because home prices have skyrocketed, that trend will most likely come to an end. Instead, places like Utah, where values are way up, it could become a lot like California, where people stay in the homes long term. To address those of you who still believe the housing market is going to crash, consider where you're getting your information from. If it's from the national media, you need to know they are not housing market specialists, and rarely are they reaching out to those who really know what they're talking about. Here's my promise to you, my brothers and sisters all over the world. I will always produce content with the intent to educate you. Of course, money is important to me, but not more important than my honesty and my integrity. I will always speak the truth, even when it's not the popular thing to do. In the end, people will look back at my content and know that not only was I giving it to you straight, but that I also had your best interest at heart. I will become your trusted source for reliable real estate and housing information. So I'm not sure if you noticed, but I actually released this exact same video with different titles and thumbnails as a social experiment. It's interesting that people are drawn to bad news. It's my guess that more people watch my video titled to signify that there's a housing market crash, as opposed to watching my video explaining why the housing market will not crash. I guess only time will tell. Okay, so as promised, here's my recommended videos to guide you through the process of buying or selling a home. The first-time buyer to-do list. How to sell your home for top dollar. How to find a home builder. Why you need to buy a house right now. How to save money when building a home. If you're planning to move to Utah or you already live here and you're looking to buy, sell, or build a home, I would love to talk with you. Please feel free to contact me directly. If there's something in this video that stood out to you as being helpful, or if you have questions, please comment below. Sincerely, I want to hear from you. If you know someone who's looking to buy or sell a home, please share this video with them. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and ring the bell to be notified each time I post new videos. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Ty, the Real Estate Guy. If you found this information helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to ring that little bell below. It'll make you feel good.